Hello leaders and veterans, this is Retired Sergeant First Class Beitz. In this video, I'm going to provide you with a quick breakdown of what to expect at your VA, CNP, or Compensation and Pension exam. On my initial claim, I was rated at 100% by the VA, and I've assisted a lot of people through their VA journey, and so far, they've all been rated at 100%. Disclaimer, I am not a professional advisor. I am just somebody who has been using the VA since 2006 and have learned the system very well. A quick suggestion before we move forward, find Combat Craig here on YouTube and subscribe to his channel. He has some of the best advice regarding VA claims and benefits that I found on this platform. Once you have filed for disability, the VA may or may not schedule you for a CNP exam. Unless you have overwhelming evidence for all of your claims, you're likely going to be ordered to complete at least one exam. Do not panic if the VA calls you to do this, just get prepared. Personally, I claimed 26 disabilities, which resulted in 4 CNP exams. I had been seen at the VA since 2006 and had a mountain of medical documents, but was still required to complete these exams. Not to mention the 1,000 pages of medical documents I had from civilian doctors. Either a VA provider or civilian VA contracted provider will do the exams. I completed mine through civilian contracted providers, which I preferred. I believe they are more empathetic to veterans because they do not see them constantly like VA examiners. Prior to scheduling your exams, they will likely ask you if you prefer a male or female doctor. It's mandatory for them to ask this if you are having a reproductive health, breast, rectal, or mental health exam, or if your claim is related to a mental or physical health condition resulting from military sexual trauma. A CNP exam isn't like a normal medical exam. The provider won't treat you for any illness or injury, give you referrals to other providers, or prescribe you medication. That's because the purpose of the exam is to gather information that will help the VA with your claim. During your exam, the provider may do any or all of the following: perform a basic physical exam. This may or may not include physical contact, ask you questions based on your medical records in your claim file, or ask you to get other tests like x-rays or blood work. Each exam for me slightly differed because they were all in different locations with different doctors. I was asked for a radius in which I was willing to travel for my appointments. I said 15 miles because I have issues driving, especially for long periods. They were not able to find any contracted providers in that radius. I told them to just find me the nearest provider to my home then. The closest exam ended up being 40 minutes from me, and the furthest exam was 3.5 hours away from me. Absurd, I know. In my exams, I do not remember any doctors looking over past medical records. They left that up to the VA. 3 of my exams lasted between 45 and 60 minutes, and one lasted about 2 hours. The doctor from the 2-hour exam did an amazing job asking me questions and taking notes. The VA even told me it was the best exam notes they had ever seen. For most exams, the examiner is going to perform a physical examination and ask you questions about your injury or illness. Of course, if it's a mental health exam, they're not going to do a physical exam. The more you can articulate your injuries, the more likely you are to get a higher rating through the VA. If you have any questions about what's happening during your exam, you can ask the provider, but they can't answer questions about the claims process, tell you the exam results, or make decisions about your claim. Once the exam is complete, the examiner will send your notes and any other applicable documents to the department of the VA that determines your rating. To determine your rating, the VA will look at medical records you provided, the exam report from the provider who did your CNP exam, results of any medical tests the provider ordered, statements from you and others about your claim, and your military medical and personnel records. According to the VA, it takes 3 to 4 months for them to provide you with a rating. I received my ratings in about half that time. I could get much deeper on CNP exams, but I wanted to at least get out this general information to help you veterans out there. If you have any questions, comment those below. I will create more videos like this in the future, so make sure you subscribe to the channel. This is Sergeant First Class Beitz. I'm out.